want to do any fun things like your song last week?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to make another song?
Welcome to The Terrible Show. I'm Garrett. This is Dylan, and we never said it was going to go to if you don't like it.
It's exactly the same, just a little bit faster.
It was faster.
I tell my girlfriend to make sure she covers her dildo in spermicide because you can't be too careful.
You don't have a girlfriend.
So now we're going to cover some of the top news stories from the past week. After much controversy and public outcry, the Redskins NFL franchise has finally agreed to change their name to the Washington Darkies.
Gary Oldman went on Jimmy Kimmel last night to apologize for defending the Masters of Intolerance, Mel Gibson and Alec Baldwin, for their homophobic and anti-Semitic slurs that they used. He said that people should learn how to take a joke, but then he apologized last night. He made those remarks in a Playboy article, and Playboy readers took a break from jacking off to naked ladies to get really upset about it.
As the U.S. considers to re-enter Iraq, the Pentagon says they've been looking for advice from Perez Hilton because he's oily and knows what it's like to have 10,000 men move in and out of him repeatedly.
An interesting part of that story, the town of Recife, where Germany played.
Can't turn your
Just
phone
got
off?
the bill for the parking ticket plus a $10 penalty for not responding from my mom. Oh, like I was saying, that Germany-USA game, it took place in a town called Recife that was being flooded today, which made it kind of tough for the fans to get to the stadium. Also, the locals whose homes were ruined were pleading for help, but all they were getting were, "Woo, USA!"
Female Russian police officers are now no longer allowed to wear short skirts, causing the ratings of the Russians' cop show to plummet. A new study has reported that sharing your bed with your pet results in a bad night's sleep. So far, this news has only affected single people in their 40s.
But for some people, that's the only way they're going to get next to some pussy. It has also resulted in a number of cases of pregnant dog.
It took me a second. According to a new study, you are less likely to receive a callback for a job interview if you list your religious orientation on your resume. This comes as a shock, though, especially after the popularity of Bring Your Born-Again Uncle to Work Day.
Also, it's tough for people named Christian because they come in and say, "Hi, I'm Christian." And bosses are like, "TMI. We didn't ask."
No. I wish my brother's name weren't Muslim. He'd probably have a job.
Yeah.
Boxing champion Peter Quillen says he goes 7 weeks without sex prior to every fight. He says so he can focus on his training and his opponent. Members of chess clubs across America say they follow a similar philosophy before a match and sometimes abstain from sex for years at a time. It's because they play chess, they're not popular, girls don't want to talk to them, and if there is a girl in the group, you know she's ugly enough where even the ugly guys wouldn't want to fuck her.
This is an interesting story. In science news, a baby eagle died last week. Which, granted, is part of the circle of life, but this baby eagle was being broadcast via webcam for a nature program. And it prompted many bird watchers to call wildlife officials to ask them to intervene. But they decided to let nature take its course, and the baby eagle died. The viewers then watched in horror as the adult eagle ate the remains of her dead baby.
For real?
For real.
Sounds like Thanksgiving when my sister was born.
Parents who saw their kids watching that actually asked them to change it to porn.
A 911 dispatcher in Columbus, Ohio, told the victim to quit crying while trying to receive information from her. After realizing she was being a little impatient, she then changed the tone and asked her if she had seen any of the new season of Orange is the New Black.
Okay, we're going to do a segment here. It's a new one this week. It's called Lines from Sitcoms We Haven't Written. And I wrote this line for a sitcom that I haven't really written the whole thing yet. It's from like a Devil Wears Prada kind of relationship with a mean boss and like an up-and-coming young intern. And the boss would be like, "I haven't been able to put you down yet. You're like a good book."
This guy who his friend is coming over and he knocks on the door and the guy opens up the door and his friend looks down and he sees he only has one sock on. He says, "Why do you have one sock on?" And he says, "Oh, I masturbated earlier."
Two friends at the beach. One's kind of heavier and one's skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And the skinny one's like, "Hey, dude, you might want to put a shirt on." And the heavy one's like, "No, I don't think I'm getting that burned." And the skinny one's like, "No, for the rest of us."
Pope Francis has called for a legitimate redistribution of wealth. He screamed from the window of his castle.
Edgar Allan Pope. More like it.
Oh, right. Fox News correspondent Tucker Carlson has made a claim that men have it harder in the workplace than women. After making this statement, a newborn baby then crawled out of his penis, and he's been receiving reduced paychecks ever since. Several dogs have died at an Arizona kennel that's been advertising themselves as the Disneyland for dogs. However, they did not mention that it was like that day at Disneyland when Mickey had to put down Pluto.
Plus, like, in the beginning of every Disney movie, they kill an animal. Like Bambi's mom.
Oh yes, you would expect that.
Mufasa.
Nemo's mom.
Nemo's mom.
Did any of the mermaid's parents die?
Both of them.
Really? I thought her dad was the dude with the long white hair.
Her dad was a fish and her mom was a human.
Oh,
That's
I
how
get
she
it
was
now.
born
That's
a
how she
mermaid.
was made a mermaid.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
And both of them died first scene.
Why? How'd they die?
Fishing nets. Big news.
Whoa.
Kim Kardashian is a blonde again. She posted a picture on Instagram and actually, she's not. It was a wig. She had to come to her own defense though when 18,000 people commented on Instagram in an outrage.
What did they all say?
You're a f***ing slut. Did you hear about that 68-year-old in Brooklyn, Hannah Harris?
Hannah Harris? No.
She was placed under arrest because she's a little old lady that's been stealing people's purses.
Really?
Yeah. Don't you wish your grandma could be cool like that?
I do. I also wish my grandma weren't dead.
Oh.
That's what I really wish. Taiwan's Quanta Computer Inc. will start production on Apple's smartwatch this July. A spokesman for Apple said that they're confident the watch will be a top seller, plus now all the sweatshop workers will know at exactly what time they attempt suicide. A group of women in New York City have started a topless book club in Central Park in an effort to make reading sexy again. Dozens of men attended the club who had no interest in reading at all.
And the Little League right next to it where the kids play has now become the Little Boner League.
Now we're going to go to one of our favorite segments here on The Terrible Show, Dad Quote of the Day. And today's quote comes from my own father. It says, "Son, when you were a child, you filled your mother and I with much joy. Now, as a chubby 20-something, you fill us with great grief."
I think my favorite thing my dad used to say was, "Son, I have the worst diarrhea." He'd say, "Son, I think you need to drive home because I have the worst diarrhea."
Did I ever tell you about my idea for an STD mascot to go into elementary schools to talk to children?
Huh.
It's a parrot, and his name is Positive Petey. He has HIV. He lets them know to use condoms and sterile needles.
Did I tell you about the mascot I was thinking of? For a pizza place to use for their garlic knots. It could be Nazi, the garlic knot.
How do you spell Nazi?
Knotsie.
That'd be cool. Pope Francis has said that inside every Christian is a Jew, and then continued, inside every Jew is a nagging relative. I can say that because I look Jewish. I wrote because I just converted to Judaism.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
But my dad is a Lutheran minister.
Okay.
So to explain this to him, we haven't been getting along. I wrote a song which is in the vein of that Old Man song by Neil Young.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like Jews." And I just explained to him different things of Judaism.
I thought that Old Man song that you were talking about with Neil Young,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a good way to tell Gary Oldman that he's doing wrong. You know, when he was defending Mel Gibson and Alec Baldwin, like,
Oh, that's right.
Gary, old man, take a
Look at my life, you're not like Jews. I need someone to love me the whole lot like Jews. Well, guys, that's it for us on The Terrible Show. We hope, really sincerely hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you again next week. I'm Dylan. This is...
Garrett.
And...
Muchos gracias and